Hey, Drew, since you guys started the walkthroughs a couple weeks ago and then these couple practices, how do you think the progress has been for you and the offense as a whole?
Yeah, I think every day we get out, we just get a little bit better. Just as far as timing goes with receivers. And I think the big thing is that, it's been almost 5-6 months for a lot of us. That was the first pocket that the Qs have been in a long time. It's the first time the O-line is having to take on guys full rushing at them. Same thing receivers, getting jammed up, having to run, 5-6 routes in a row rather than routes on air where you get to chill out and, have the guys in front of you take some reps. So I think the basic things is just that this is the first time in a long time we've all been back out there, and that's what we're trying to get better at, the basics, pocket fundamentals, just O-line doing their thing, receivers doing their thing. Same with the defense. It's just, we got to kind of get massage back into it and get things rolling.
Next up, Troy Wright, go ahead.
Drew, good to see you. It looks like you're finding that balance on how to, take care of the ball and take chances, that you're being aggressive in camp. How important is that for you to maintain that aggressive mindset? Especially, it looks like it really suits Shermer's offensive schemes and concepts.
Yeah, it's just going to be an equal balance of both. Just kind of remaining myself, taking the shots when they're there, fitting in some windows if need be, but also understanding that, taking care of the ball is the number one thing for us. If we can take care of the ball, we're going to be pretty well off. But no, it's not going to take away from who I am as a quarterback, and it does have times in Shermer's offense where we can't show that. And I've had a blast learning his offense and getting back out there with the guys and trying to put it all together, one step at a time.
Next up, Mike Kliss, go ahead.
Yeah, Drew, I guess because of all the talk of how young you guys are and no OTAs, that I thought it was going to look real sloppy out there on offense when you first started. I think you guys have surprised all of us a little bit by the execution. You obviously, July 23rd, when the first time you opened up the playbook, just talk about everything you did leading up to that training camp opener with the full squad on, I think it was Friday.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to all the coaches, on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. The defense got us a little bit that first day, but it's the same thing. Like, testament to our coaches here. They didn't have a lot of time to get us ready. And like you said, how young we are, first time learning an NFL offense for a lot of these guys. This is a brand new offense for the whole, for the whole offense. I think it's just literally been the culmination of one little baby step at a time. We've done a great job of prepping beforehand. We're about to get to the point where we're installing new plays and having to go out and run it. We've had install 1, install 2, install 3, ready and keep it clean. That's what I did last year. When we came out last year and we ran the first couple installs, I thought I was the man. And then we got to the last couple installs, and I'm like, wow, these are kind of starting to pile up. So I think our coaches are doing a good job of keeping us ahead of schedule on these scripts and plays in general. We just got to keep piling it on and not letting it overwhelm us as a young offense.
Next up, Arnie Stapleton, go ahead.
Hey, Drew, you got a position battle going on right in front of you at center. So I'm wondering, when do you as the quarterback of this team need that to be settled so that you can start working with your guy heading into September?
Yeah, I think right now it's nice to be able to try all of them out. I mean, that sounds weird, but working with Pat, working with Kush, working with Schlott, it's been good just flipping them in and out every single day and seeing who we're going to mesh with the best. I think if we get a lot of reps with all the guys, it'll be up to the coaches when they decide who's the 1, who's the 2, who's the 3, but we'll all have reps with, every single one of them to where I think we'd be ready to head into a game week if it was, so to say, 4 or 5 days in advance notice.
Next up, Eric DeLalla, go ahead.
Yeah, Drew, given the value of the quarterback position, have you put any thought or given any extra emphasis on safety with COVID away from the facility and kind of making sure you're able to stay available? What's been your approach there?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really easy right now for all of us to be safe because we're here from this early in the morning to this late at night, and all you want to do when you're done is go home and get your rest and start the day back up. I think the real thing is going to be when we get into a game prep week. We got a couple off days. the nights aren't as long as camp. The mornings aren't as early to where guys might feel like they have a little free time. But, that's my responsibility to remind us that, this is a very important season for all of us, important season for everybody. But it's also very important for us to stay healthy and realize that, if we really do love the game as much as we say we do, we should be willing to sacrifice a little bit of free time and some time out of football. And I know personally I love it enough to be able to give that up.
Next up, Jeff Legwell, go ahead.
I'm curious, specifically when you threw on your own with guys before camp started, what did you want to accomplish in those workouts, and what do you think has carried over in the first couple of weeks here?
Yeah, my biggest thing was being able to say a play out loud to them and kind of let them think about it in their head. We never rushed anything when we were out there. We took our time. I would call a play out and be able to, give them a second to kind of, all right, here's the play, here's how I line up, here's what I have. Instead of just saying, hey, go out there, run a slant. Hey, go out there, run a post. Hey, go out there, run it out. I wanted to give them, let's huddle up, let's talk about the play, let's call the play, tell them what everybody has. All right, let's go out and run it. I think it was big for us to get timing, but I also think it was big for us to start hearing plays and getting in a huddle and, for myself, letting me call plays without a wristband as well. So it benefited all of us when we all got out there as far as, being able to understand plays, know where to line up, know how you're running it, and then work on timing as well.
Next up, Brandon Cristal, go ahead.
Sure, I got a couple for you. First, everyone makes a big deal about you learning a new offense, but by my math, you've had 6 offenses in 7 years going back to high school. So is this just kind of old hat for you every year, learning a little bit of new terminology and a new offensive coordinator?
Yeah, like you said, it has been a journey for me in offensive coordinators. I think as far as how Pat goes, one of the friendliest OCs I've had, as far as making it easy and for us to go out and play. As far as how the guys reacting the same way, I feel like we were all picking it up extremely fast, and it goes with the amount of work that guys have been putting in. But I really do enjoy working with Pat, working with Coach Shula, and just getting everybody here finally and letting us start running these plays. I think it really benefited us.
Guys, time for a few more. Next up, Ryan Koenigsberg.
Hey, Drew. Kareem Jackson said that Jerry Jeudy gets in and out of his routes as good as anyone he's ever seen. Are you willing to go that far as well?
We'll say Jerry's pretty good. We'll put it that way. I'm not going to put anything out there and establish expectations for that young man to hold up, because I know if someone said that I was the best thrower they've ever seen last year, I would go into games with a little added pressure. But no, Jerry's been great. I think the best thing that I've seen out of Jerry is just how hard he comes out and works every day, and just how on top of it he is. No questions asked. I get in there, call play, he's out. Same with KJ, same with Albert, same with a lot of these guys. I've just been extremely impressed with how much work the guys around us have been putting in to be able to come out ready to go every single day, knowing that we don't have very many days to be ready for that Monday night game against Tennessee.
Next up, Nick Kosmutter.
Yeah, Drew, I'm just curious. Obviously, Jake Butt's, kind of been through a lot over the last couple of years. What's been your impression of him in this training camp so far? And secondly, what's just your impression of Nick Vannett and what he brings to that kind of position?
Yeah, there's nobody in our locker room that, doesn't want to see Jake Butt succeed. One of the best teammates that we have in this locker room. And, for him to push and grind through all of the injuries he's had, and for him to come out, he reported early with us. Right from the get-go, I could tell he was, he's not 100% back to normal. Obviously, you can never get back to normal after a knee, but he is as close as you possibly can get with after having those surgeries. The guy's playing some really good ball, super smart, a little more athletic than I think people give him credit for. And the same with Nick Vannett. First off, he's a monster. He's going to help us out in both aspects, running and the passing game. Couldn't say enough about him as well. Again, his dedication. He left. He had to come to Denver. Start a new life, got here. We hooked up a couple times and threw a little bit before the season started just to kind of get some chemistry going. And I just appreciate all the work he's put in before as well.
Last one, Darren McKee, go ahead.
Drew, what's it like to work with all this speed? What adjustments do you have to make? And will you be Buzz Lightyear with the wristband this year or not?
Oh, the adjustments. No, there's been a little bit of adjustments. I think it's the biggest thing for me was just being mentally ready to come out every single day from play one. Joe was out there, and whether or not the threes got off to a hot start wasn't very important that day. But it's extremely important for the ones to get out and get rolling from play one. That's kind of the focus I've been having, that I got to come out hot every single day. I got to be ready mentally and physically before these practices, and I come out and do my best from the start. But as far as Buzz Lightyear goes, I don't know. There's no wristband this year. We might have one for some late third down calls and whatnot, but we'll see. Like I said before, those celebrations were kind of just on the fly. It was something the offensive line came up with that week, and it's kind of how it's always been in my career. Whatever I do that week, I go back and watch the film and just hope it didn't get caught, because I don't even know half the time what I ended up doing. So it's just kind of a fun spur of the moment thing.